a play, and the kids usually got their own script with their coach, and Isaiah has done very well this season. So I'm very excited to see his movies. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good crowd. Not bad for a swan song. Allow me to introduce myself. Scaramouche Jones. Clown. Englishman. Tonight is the last night of my life. The 31st of December. 1999. And as a million clocks strike midnight, up and down these green and pleasant lands, I shall lay down my long and weary life. But before I go, I must thrill and revolt you with both fear and delight. Indulge me with your attentiveness, and be rewarded with the tale and the surrendering up of the masks of Scaramouche Jones. Among the groups the Nazi regime singled out for persecution on so-called racial grounds were the Roma, also known as gypsies. The Nazis considered the gypsies to be racially inferior, and according to the U.S. Holocaust Museum, their lives often paralleled that of the Jews. Even before the war, gypsies struggled to gain respect and were often forced to live nomadic lives, often as circus performers. Here we meet Scaramouche Jones, a clown, a gypsy, and a hero. Scaramouche Jones by Justin Butcher. My first ivory-colored veneer I acquired as a child. I was pale even at birth, which surprised my mother because, well, she was a dark-skinned gypsy whore. As I crouched in the back of our shop late at night, I would watch my mother earn our keep. And as each gentleman caller staggered off into the night, she would slosh her mouth with a deep draught of rum and whistle to the next in line who would come to pay his respects. We gypsies are strange orphans, thinkers, peddlers, travelers, magicians, whores, clowns. But each one the son of a gypsy, no matter who the father. Oh, my little Scaramouche, you bear the name Scaramouche because you were so pale and white when you popped out. And as for your father was an Englishman. My father was an Englishman. Your mother is dead. The fishmonger was courteous enough to inform me. She had an accident with one of her friends. When Mother died, I moved to Italy, where I met up with a group of gypsies who took me in like a long-lost brother. After a few years, however, the fighting broke out. Gypsies were suddenly at risk, and so we came up with one permanent resolve. We were to move to Poland. As our luck would have it, however, as soon as we arrived in Poland, Poland fell. I was captured and thrown in the back of a military station wagon with men, women, and children, who all bore on their garments the yellow star. The Nazi doctors could find nothing in their books to account for the pristine whiteness on my face, but they weren't about to believe that I was a thoroughbred Aryan either. And so, they gave me the job of a gravedigger in the concentration camp. My job was to dig mass graves, even in the bitterest winters when my shovel bent in the frozen earth. And then to watch as trailer loads and trailer loads of dead bodies were upended into them. And then, however the bodies arrived, whether by gas or bullet or malnutrition, my job was to then shovel white lime all over their twisted faces and contorted limbs, like the paintings of so many clowns. So many clowns, millions of clowns. There were Jewish clowns, gypsy clowns, homosexual clowns. Children clowns. Oh, with that disgusting white lime to cover their faces. After a while, a strange thing happened in the camp. I discovered a certain facility for making the children laugh. Yes, when the ranks upon ranks of tattered, worn-down people were lined up for the machine gun squads, naked and shorn, one by one, a child would catch sight of me, just leaning on my shovel, waiting to resume my work. And I would wink at them, pull faces, laugh at the guards and make fun of them, pretend to get gunned down, and fall to the ground. Just to flutter up like an angel towards heaven. And sometimes, just sometimes, a child would see me and produce just the slightest glimpse of a smile. Before they were gunned into the ground, never to be seen nor heard from again. And so the common euphemism for extermination in the camp no longer became going for a haircut or going to take a shower. But going to see the clown. My reprieve came in 1951, when my case, among others, was re-examined in a new light. The man interrogating me asked me if I was really the concentration camp clown whose antics had kept fear at bay for so many Holocaust victims. And I muttered that yes, I did try to make the little ones laugh. He was flabbergasted and asked me how I had done it. And so, I performed for him a clown's rendition of a comic execution.
he said that in my own way, I had been wrongfully imprisoned, and that I should receive my liberty. I was free. And so now you know the tale of Scaramouche Jones. 50 years to make the clown. 50 years to play the